In this video, I wanted to cover another super investor by the name of David Tepper. And his name has come up a few times over the last couple months as he's made some investments that really make a lot of sense to me. China, and he's invested in some technology stocks that I also believe in. He's also made some investments that I'm not in. So I thought I'd take a look at his portfolio and see if I can learn something. Maybe understand what has been the secret to his success. He's been a very successful investor and hedge fund operator. So successful that he bought an NFL football team. You got to be loaded. You have to be super successful to own an NFL team, and he certainly has done so. The hedge fund that he manages is Appaloosa, and their performance has been really good. Over the past year, 16.81, which hasn't quite beat the S&P. But over the last 5 years, it's been an impressive run, 173%, and over the 10-year, 178%. So in general, he's been a really successful guy. Now, what investments is he in? So unlike other super investors that really concentrate their investments into a couple of stocks, he really diversifies into a list of many stocks. So let's go through that. His biggest position is Alibaba, and boy, he's probably really happy he's invested in Alibaba. It's been doing great this year. Amazon, Pinduoduo, another Chinese company, Microsoft, Vistra. He just started adding Vistra, and it's actually a position he just got into last quarter. I'm not sure he's happy with that one. Vistra has really been collapsing. JD is a Chinese company. Google, of course, Meta, and China large cap ETF. So he's betting big on China. That's where I've really noticed him. He's really gone big into China. He believes that the Chinese stocks have been left behind. They have very good fundamentals, great valuations. So he's betting big on China, as you can tell. He's also invested in Lyft, and I also invested in Lyft just a little bit, but he's got a pretty good position in there. He's gotten into energy, AMD. Not sure he's happy with AMD. Baidu, another Chinese stock. Qualcomm. Qualcomm's not doing too bad, but I don't think that's going to be a home run. I also own Qualcomm, so that's why I'm saying that. FedEx is in there. Energy Transfer, that's an energy company. NVIDIA's in there. Interesting. Lam Research, not a semiconductor company, and Uber. So he really spreads the wealth, and really I can keep going down the list. He also has United Healthcare, Caesars, TSM's in there. So he's big in semiconductor, which his Chinese stocks are probably crushing 2025, but the semiconductor space is really collapsing. That might be hurting his performance in the current year. It's interesting, he did reduce his position in TSM. Looks like he's into Las Vegas Sands, Winds Resorts. Interesting. So you can see that he really goes into different industries. He is big in semiconductor. He's big into China. He owns the big heavyweights, right? Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta. So it's interesting how he diversifies. And he has been selling out of Meta the most. Probably took a lot of those gains. Meta really did flourish in 2024, and it did flourish in January, and that reduction happened in the fourth quarter of 2024. So he missed out on that rally that happened in Meta in early January. This super investor is really bet big on China, and it's probably paying off. If you look at Alibaba, it's up 56% year to date, and JD is up 17. And this is while the market's really been selling off. So these stocks are really working for the given year. So he's probably really glad that he bet big on China. It's probably enabling his fund to outperform the S&P and the Nasdaq. Now let's take a look at another big area that he's invested in, which is semiconductor. David Tepper's semiconductor stocks may be an area that's holding him back. If you look at NVIDIA, it's down 20% year to date. And he also owns TSM, which is down 13.5. He owns AMD, which is down 20%. And AMD's had a really brutal 12 months. He owns a couple of other semiconductor stocks, and I think those are really losing. So I think the Chinese stocks and the semiconductor stocks are probably balancing out. It's a good thing he owns more Chinese stocks than he owns in semiconductor stocks, so he's probably still going to come out ahead. So takeaways from David Tepper and his portfolio. First, he owns a lot of stocks and he's diversified, but has a couple of themes going on. China's going to work. He is invested in the big caps like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta. He balances those. He's sold off some of those big caps, and he's invested in semiconductor. What's been a good idea on his part is he was selling out a semiconductor, probably not fast enough because semiconductor is really collapsing. Overall, you can tell this guy really knows what he's doing, and it's really interesting to study his portfolio. I like seeing that he is making bets on companies like Lyft, which is a small cap technology company. It's good to see some of these small caps get some love from the super investors. So that's my review of David Tepper. It was good to see what his portfolio is all about. Again, I've seen him a few times online talk about China, really be bullish on China. And I too am very bullish on China. I've been investing in China, and I wanted to see what this guy was all about. I'm very impressed, and I'll continue to follow him. That's my video on David Tepper. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you so much for watching.